Madam Speaker.
I call Rino Tirikatene.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I too stand in support of this bill at its third reading. I want to acknowledge the member that's just resumed his seat for the role that he played with the Māori Affairs Committee of the 51st Parliament, which initiated the inquiry which has led to this piece of legislation, and all of the members of that committee, and likewise the response from the government. And this bill has straddled, I guess, two separate parliaments, and so there has been cooperation from both governments, both the previous one and the current one, to ensure the passage of this legislation, the acceptance of the recommendation which the committee made, which has led to the bill. So, ma'am, as this is a small provision which we're inserting into the Coroners Act, but it's very significant. As we know, coroners are judicial officers. They perform, a very important, a very professional role in what they do in determining matters around suspicious or unexpected deaths, and as part of that judicial role that they play, inevitably there is the issues which come with the intersection of grieving whānau with loved ones. And what this bill does, ma'am, is follow through on those recommendations to ensure that coroners do take into account the customs, the ethnic origins, social attitudes and customs, spiritual beliefs also of the person who's deceased or their immediate family, to ensure that those are taken into account to allow either immediate whānau or representatives to be able to view, to be able to spend time and to touch their deceased loved ones. And so I believe, ma'am, this is an important piece of legislation because it's showing humanity, even though we all know that the coroner has to perform a very important judicial role. There is definitely scope in it, and what we're doing is ensuring that it is a requirement that coroners, in exercising the discretion as to who may have access to a deceased loved one, that they too take into account those cultural considerations. And it's definitely important for tikanga Māori, and this provision also extends to all cultures who are part of Aotearoa New Zealand society. So I don't intend to take too long with this contribution, ma'am, other than I support the bill. And the coroners do play an important role, but there are also other important steps, I guess, that take place, whether it's the role that DHBs play in terms of their role with dealing with deceased persons, likewise undertakers and funeral directors, and I know that there is, I guess, across all of those different offices and different organisations, there is consideration given to those cultural concerns and spiritual beliefs and the like. And so I'm pleased that we're able to set this directive through this piece of legislation to ensure that that also applies in the Coroners Act to direct our coroners as well. And so with that, ma'am, I commend this bill, but as is custom in Māori custom, I'd like to, as we say, apiti hono tātai hono, rātou te hunga wairua kia rātou, apiti hono tātai hono, tātou te hunga ora kia tātou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
I call Joanne Hayes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it is with pleasure that I stand to